you all for coming out today. The reason we asked you all to be here is because the city of St. Louis is under attack. For a very long time, the voters of this city have been asking for changes within this city. We see high crime rates, we see underdevelopment within our communities, and we see lack of trust between government officials, police officers, and different entities that exist within the city of St. Louis. There's an effort right now for the city of St. Louis to merge with the city of St. Louis County, or with St. Louis County in general. What this does for the city of St. Louis, number one, is outrageous to think that our mayor will give away the position of the chief executive of the city of St. Louis to become a transitioning mayor and a part of the metropolitan city when they do combine. Our taxes raise up as the city of St. Louis residents. Our voting rights are taken away because we do not get to vote for the first mayor of that metropolitan city. That undermines the people's ability to vote for who it is that they want. If there was a merger to take place, we should be able to vote who it is that we want in place, who is in charge of the city from that point. And for the mayor of the city of St. Louis to undermine the voters, to undermine the individuals who have kept this city running. We may have 300,000 people now, but the 300,000 people that exist are the people who have held St. Louis down from the time once we had 800,000 people within this city. To undermine us as the voters and say that we're incompetent to vote on those leaders who should be the leaders of this new entity that we created. That's complete disregard to democracy and the individuals in the city of St. Louis. The ordinances that we've worked hard to prepare throughout the city of St. Louis become null and void. We become under the St. Louis County Charter immediately. Everything that we've done within this city, all the years that we've put into making sure that the residents of this city of St. Louis are working towards having a better quality of life, having a better living experiences. Those things go away for us. The city courts are deemed to be merged, but yet and still there are 55 municipal police departments that will exist. So all of the injustices that still exist, that put people in court, will still exist. This merger does not address the real regional issues that exist within our region. So merging us together does not propel St. Louis City or County into a better place. Our neighborhood identities disappear. The St. Louis municipalities get to keep everything that exists. St. Louis City neighborhoods like Tower Grove, Hyde Park, Vivo Mill, the Greater Ville, College Hill, all of those entities disappear. But the municipalities get to keep who they are. They keep their cultural identities. We spent years building up this city. Some places like Soulard used to look just like the north side of St. Louis, which we complain about today. But those people put their money together and did what was necessary to preserve that neighborhood and preserve this city. They have put together boards to ensure that the money that they put together are appointed by the people who live in those communities. They have say-so over the way those dollars are spent. All of those things will be taken under this merger and given to the metro mayor of the actual metropolitan city. And those individuals who have worked that hard lose their ability to have those individuals represent them that they think need to be represented in the neighborhood in which they work to preserve. The funds of the city of St. Louis are collected and distributed by the metro mayor. We don't have any more control over our tax dollars, over our schools, over any of the monies that get collected by this city. We have done everything necessary as the individuals who are still existing within the city to preserve this city and to keep our city floating. And to give it blindly to an individual who is the St. Louis County executive who has never, ever served in a position within the city of St. Louis once again undermines our ability to govern ourselves. We have over 10,000 employees within the city of St. Louis, and the mayor of this city has sent out a letter telling those individuals that they will not be subject to losing their jobs. That is totally false, and it's disrespectful to the individuals who have worked in this city for 30 years plus, holding down positions and keeping the city, once again, above water where it is right now and trying to point us into a different direction as a whole, working collectively with these departments. We will get rid of thousands of jobs, and that's within the amendment in the Constitution. We have been subject to a takeover within this city. We don't have a lot of people standing up right now, but that's because the chief executive within this city is not letting us know the positives and the negatives, the pros and the cons. You don't only go around and tell people what is the positive. Yes, as a region, our population will grow. Yes, we might become the 7th largest populated city within the United States. But does it change the 200 murders that exist in the city of St. Louis? Does it change our school systems that are still working on archaic government statutes? Does it change the fact that our children are walking around the streets of the city of St. Louis are hungry? Does it change our homeless population? Does it give the city economic growth? There's no policies that exist within these documents to propel this city forward. This is all a recommendation. And to recommend such an egregious plan, to recommend something that undermines the voters of the city of St. Louis being in the chief executive position in the city of St. Louis, I think takes us back to years that we have not seen in a very long time. When you have people that still understand what it feels like to walk into a restaurant that is white only or black only within the city, and we have not had a leader to address the issues of racism within the city. And you want to take us from being a 48% black populated city to a 47% black populated city. That completely, once again, takes away years that we have worked to be an equitable city. We right now have the ability to vote in candidates that will reflect the demographics of the city. We may or may not have a black or a white, but we have the ability to at least root for the people that we want. Under this merger, that is not possible. We need to make sure that as a city, we're looking out for the best interests of the people that live in the city, all people. Whether you're black, white, Latin, Asian, every single person in the city has a voice, and we deserve to make sure that voice is heard. Better Together is holding 4 meetings within the city, and only 150 people are allowed out of the 300,000 residents that exist within the city. And they are making them reserve their spaces. That's preposterous. There's not real communication between Better Together and the citizens of the city of St. Louis, nor our mayor, in ensuring that our voices are being heard. At this particular time, there are drastic measures that need to take place, because there are drastic decisions that are taking place right now. In 18 months, the city of St. Louis will cease to exist. We become a corporation, the corporation of the city of St. Louis City Corporation. We will no longer have an identity. We will no longer have the ability to put ourselves in the position that we like to be. That is something that we must not take. We cannot lay down and allow our mayor, Better Together, or any billionaires to come into the city and dictate our future. There are way more of us than it is of them. So the actions that must take place don't come lightly. But we must recall the mayor of the city of St. Louis. She cannot continue to sit in this position and undermine the voters within this city, undermine our ability to vote for those who we want in office, to vote for those who we think should be the individuals that help propel this city forward. This is our time as the citizens of the city of St. Louis to understand that we are strong. There are thousands of us, and only a few of those individuals that are making decisions for the thousands of us within this city. Your children's futures is at stake. Your homes are at stake. Your lives, your jobs is at stake from a few. There are the thousands of us that need to take place to ensure the survival of this city, to make sure that everything that we would like to change is changed the way that we see fit, not the way that they see fit. This is our time as the city of St. Louis residents, and we must stand up for what is right. I'm calling on every resident within the city of St. Louis, and we are collectively. It is time for us to stand up for what's right within the city and ensure that those individuals that we have put in place to represent this city, represent the voice of this city. Make sure that they understand that the individuals who voted them in will vote them out. If you do not do what's necessary within this city to make sure that this city is going in the direction that you ran on. So once again, I appreciate the mayor of this city for taking the position that she has, but she has not taken the position that the citizens of the city of St. Louis has voted her in for. This is our time to stand up for ourselves. Amen, Mom.
Our communities are under attack by Better Together and its blind call for a merger between the city of St. Louis and St. Louis Council. The current process and plan presented by Better Together with the support of our mayor and St. Louis County Executive is a slap in the face of democracy and voters in the city of St. Louis. The plan was developed in the dark. The plan was developed without civic engagement, and its very nature does not include community participation or inclusion. The process is a slap in the face of freedom to any resident of the city of St. Louis. It's a slap in the face for voters, where the city is telling them that we will not guarantee their freedom or their choice in deciding who their government officials are. This plan will dilute and drastically affect African American leadership, something that this city and this region have fought hard over the years to obtain. This is moving backwards, not forward. I stand in opposition. We stand in opposition to any merger in this current plan. The failed leadership of Lyda Krewson must be addressed and must be resolved. If we want this city to grow, maintain, and thrive, we have to choose our leadership wisely. Justice and equity is not involved in this plan. We have to defeat it. We must defeat it. And it is my promise and my guarantee that we will, with the support of residents, community leaders, and community stakeholders. This plan turns the city of St. Louis, which is well over 50% African American, and dissolves it into a county where the population is less than 30% African American. This is the whitewashing of the voting electorate. Something I will not stand for, something we will not stand for. This plan will be defeated. This plan in its very nature is racist. Thank you.
Once again, we appreciate everybody for coming, but it's important to understand that once again, in drastic times, you've heard it before, we need to take drastic measures. And this is something that has been imposed and forced on the citizens of the city of St. Louis. Nobody asked for this in particular, and nor have we had any discussions in the city before this was rolled out by the mayor of the city of St. Louis. It's important to point out that our mayor is referenced within this plan as being a part of this merger without ever having any conversations with the citizens of the city of St. Louis. We cannot continue to have leadership in that manner. This is our time as the citizens of St. Louis City to stand up.
Alderman, could you highlight, I heard you say that it's time to recall the mayor of St. Louis, how that would work, and why you think it's time for that. So how would it work? What's the plan?
So, we won't address the plan in particular, but there is most certainly an effort to do so. And we have everything that's necessary to make sure that this happens. Just as Better Together has been working, the community in the city of St. Louis has been working also. You may have just heard of it today, but there are plenty of citizens that know exactly what's going on. We do have a plan in place, and we will be successful.
Are you gathering signatures, or what's the process? I'm not familiar with what you would have to do to recall.
Understood. So, no disrespect, but we appreciate once again every single person for coming. But to answer that question, you never show a lamb the blade that you're coming with, right? We have to ensure that citizens who are working together to make sure that this moves forward are protected and our plan is protected. So once again, this is something that will happen. This is a direction that we want the citizens of St. Louis to know about, because this won't happen with just the efforts of the individuals.
Can I ask one more easy question? If all goes well, how soon could this be on the ballot? And don't only in West Virginia anymore. Just want to repeat that.
Understood. This will be happening quite quickly. We don't have to worry about this over the next year. This plan will be defeated.
Well, when would you like to get the recall?
Hey, thank you guys. No more questions at this time. Thank you for coming out.
Hi, my name is Wendy Campbell. I'm the 20th Ward Committee woman, and I hope you all heard everything that Alderman Bosley and Alderman Muhammad said. We need to open our ears and be aware of what is going on in St. Louis. They're blindsiding us, and we cannot allow Mayor Krewson and everyone else involved in trying to take over St. Louis take it over. We have to become more aware. We have to be down here in numbers and voting on what's right. We cannot let St. Louis be taken by someone that doesn't even live here. We cannot allow this. So Black St. Louis and white St. Louis that want St. Louis to stay here, stay woke. Be a part of what's going on. Support Alderman Bosley and support Alderman Muhammad on what you just heard. Thank you.